Hey there! Today I'm here to hopefully clear some misconceptions that you may have about Kingdom of Heroes. Now, I normally wouldn't make a video like this, but I think a huge portion of the gacha community right now has kind of a negative opinion about this game, and I think most of it is quite undeserved, so hopefully I can clear some points now that I have, actually played the game a little bit, so I can give a somewhat more informed opinion about it. Now, addressing the issue a bit more directly, if you just go on the gacha gaming subreddit and type in Kingdom of Heroes, you'll see pretty much posts no one cares about, but one in particular is actually really popular, which is talking about how the game charges you for removing your runes, which is just nonsense. And honestly, that's not just it. There are multiple things that people are saying about the game that are just pretty much false. I don't know why exactly, but I'll try to clear it up, okay? And then I'll talk about gem acquisition, mileage, and a bunch of little systems that make this game quite free-to-play friendly in my opinion. So first of all, unlike Summoner's War and multiple other gachas, the cost to remove your runes normally is really low. I mean, you can actually get like millions and millions of silver really easily in this game, like in most gachas, but in comparison, like the cost to remove the runes is really low. I have this 6-star legendary rune, for example, which is the one that is most expensive to remove, and it costs 5,000. And my other runes take like 2,500, 3,000 to remove. It's just nothing, honestly. You might as well call it free. Now, the fact that they are selling rune removal packages or something doesn't matter at all. Like, it's pretty much free, it's not worth paying for it, so don't buy it. And there you go, problem solved, huh? People also talk about how this game has failed multiple times in the past, like making multiple releases. That's just not true at all. There was like a slingshot game at some point they released that used the assets from this game. I don't know if legally or not, and that game failed, but I mean, Kingdom of Heroes itself never released globally before. And while the eastern versions of the game are not doing like super well, they're not doing poorly as well, so it's not too bad. Another pretty stupid misconception is the fact that this game has like costumes with stats, but that's also just nonsense. Like, let's say a tank of yours has like 5,000 HP, and a costume gives him like 50 more. That's 1% more HP, it's useless. And the same goes for every other stat in every other costume, so yeah, they have stats, but it doesn't matter at all and doesn't make the game pay to win. But enough of that, right? Let's talk about gem acquisition. I actually did some math behind it. I'm just gonna share the results with, of course, in-game proof of these numbers. But I don't want to bore you to death, so it's gonna be pretty brief. You get 6 gems a day just doing your dailies, which are actually pretty easy to do. So that's 180 a month, and then we get 10 per day extra from this package thing. And from what I saw, this is actually available most of the time. At least before this one was released, there was another one in place, so maybe it's forever, I'm not sure. But that's 10 per day, 300 a month. Now, events are actually quite generous. I'm just gonna give a very brief estimate and say you get maybe 500 per month. You definitely get more, that's a pretty low ball, but still, to prove my point, I'll say 500. And by the way, I'm counting like 50 of the more special crystals as 30 gems, and similarly 1 scroll as 30 gems, in order to calculate everything in a single currency. Now your monthlies, which are just daily logins, you get 350. So far that's 1,300 a month, which is pretty good considering you don't really need to work for these. Then we have the Kingdom Pass. I'm not sure how often it resets, but let's say around 200 a month. In case the reset is actually like every other month or something like that, it's probably less, but still, let's go with 200. And by completing the Tower of Arrogance, which is a terrible name honestly, you get around 900 a month, plus a bunch of skill ups and special scrolls, but let's say 900. So that's 2,400 a month right there. There's definitely some areas that I haven't explored, or some gem acquisition methods that I haven't really figured out yet, so it's probably a bit higher, but still, just passive gem acquisition you should be getting around 2,400, which is enough to do 80 pulls. And 80 pulls is nice because it means it's higher than the average that you need to get around 1 new 5-star a month. I mean, you may take it as you will, but that's pretty good, right? And then on top of that, this game has a pretty nice mileage system. And honestly, I don't want to get to the math behind it, but it's actually a really good mileage system. You get more rewards from mileage than otherwise, which is kind of insane. So I mean, if you take mileage into account, it's even much better. And keep in mind, this is just passive stuff that is always available for you. Now let's talk about achievements and one-time clear rewards, shall we? By getting to floor 50 in the guild raid, you can get 3 skill ups, a light and darkness scroll, which is 4 and 5 star only, and a legendary scroll on top of it, and both of them count towards mileage, by the way. And well, there are 5 of them, so just by clearing this, you can get, by mileage alone, half the mileage necessary to summon a regular 5 star and an LD net 5. That's good, that's really good. Then there's another free LD net 5 by clearing the hard Tower of Ascension, Tower of Arrogance or something, whatever. And of course a bunch of other like skill ups, crystals and scrolls. Then you scroll a bit higher and you see that there's another LD net 5 for free. That's just insane. Like, I don't think you're gonna clear the 100th floor of TOA hard, but I mean, it's there and it's free. Then there's this LD net 4 that you get for free, which is actually one of the best units in the game. And they give you like a bunch of extra copies so you can get skill ups for free. Then the fusion units are just as great. They're just potentially better than the average 5 star. Then there's this LD net 5 that can only be acquired with Guild War points, which is also one of the best units in the game. I mean, I could go on, right? But let's just stop here, shall we? And okay, my intention is not to just suck on this game's balls for the whole video. I just wanted to bring some facts to the table and actually prove some misconceptions wrong, and hopefully clear this game's bad reputation. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Now I just want to talk a little bit about my channel and this account a little bit, so if you just happen to come across this video, feel free to leave if you're not interested. Go play Kingdom of Heroes, it's good. So my rerolling actually went quite well. I managed to get 2 5 stars plus the selection ticket. So I got the Speranza and Morgan, and then I picked Ingwe with the selection ticket. And honestly, Ingwe is a no-brainer. Just pick him, honestly. That's so fucking perfect. Just by the way, since I made the reroll video, right? And I also updated the tier list to include 3 and 4 stars. It's by the same guy that made the 5-star tier list. And once again, I'm just translating it. I unfortunately don't have the knowledge yet to actually make a tier list for this game. So of course, all the credit for the tier list itself goes to the Korean guy that made it. Unfortunately, I have no idea how to pronounce his name, but there you go. Now, talking a little bit about the channel itself, the video I made actually got quite a bit of views, which was kind of surprising, honestly. I didn't expect it. Of course, I used to get way more when I played Brown Dust, but that was like a year ago. It's been so long. I'm pretty much starting from scratch here. So I thank you a lot for your support, honestly. And I'm honestly liking this game quite a lot, so I'll do my best to make as many videos as possible. Problem is that I'm quite busy right now. I shouldn't even be making videos, but still, I'll do my best. I really want to get into guides and like unit analysis videos, but honestly, it's way too early. Few days in, I gotta take some time and actually learn the game properly so I can actually make somewhat decent guides, correct ones, right? That's important. So bear with me if the content is a bit dry for the first few days or weeks. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm done. Thank you. See you guys.